So I want to speak about variables within a system or as a system. So what I've gone through in the past is this complete and utter anger towards myself for being myself. It's pretty ridiculous. Um, so the first memory that I think of is a coworker was talking to me, and he was sharing his experience about hitchhiking. I mean, he came from Sault Ste. Marie down to Waterloo, which is quite a ways. If you, it doesn't matter. Um, and I thought that this was pretty cool. I mean, it was a life that I wanted to live. I mean, it was a desired life. And so I wanted to participate in it as well. Um, then I got to thinking about how to do it and my actual life. And at that time, I did have diabetes, and I was trying to work my way around it. And I realized that I could not do that. I could not be a hitchhiker and travel because of diabetes. And within that, I got completely pissed off at myself. And actually, a thought that came up was, if I can't do what I want, what's the point in living? So there was definitely suicidal tendencies there. Um, but back to my topic. What I noticed is that I didn't handle a variable of myself being a diabetic. I mean, it was either do it or don't. I mean, it's either I can do it or I can't. And if I can, I'm happy, and if I can't, I'm sad and angry and depressed and shit like that. Um, and this has happened quite a few times. I've gotten angry at myself for eating sugar because I'm trying to stop sugar. Um, what happens is that I go through all the fruit or um, whatever that I carry on me to help maintain my blood sugar level at where it needs to be. And I will go through, I'll eat all that stuff that I carry on me and still end up going low and have to eat a form of sugar because it's the only thing that is um, available without getting myself into trouble. And before, I used to get pissed off at myself because it was either a yes or a no. I mean, there was no variable. Um, so I was a system. Then I was participating in and as a system of yes and no, right and wrong, good and bad. Um, yeah, I did not take into account a variable. I did not. I wasn't self-honest. I mean, in self-honesty as myself, I have to take into account variables that if I do go through sugar or all the fruit or food that I carry to keep my sugar um, balanced, then I have to take into account that I may have to eat sugar. I mean, it can't be a yes or no. And what I've noticed is that it's the starting point that matters. Is that if I do it out of necessity for myself, um, the want and desire to have more doesn't exist. It does not pop up. I do not fall into it. Uh, yeah, yeah. The starting point was for myself. If the starting point is for a want or desire, then obviously I participate in that want or desire. Um, and I allow that to have power over me. So yeah, uh, anger that I've noticed, it doesn't involve variables. When working, there are little sign holder tags, and while I'm working, I'm putting up a product, and at the end of my shift, or near the end, I have to front face everything. I mean, bring everything to the front so it looks flush and full. And as I'm doing that, all these tags are falling off, and it's when I get angry at it or frustrated, it is a point of time, and it is a point of I don't expect it and want that to happen. I mean, there's no variable within there. It's either a yes or a no. It's not a possibility. Um, so yes, anger being a system, still is just a polarity. I mean, it's both ends of it, and that's quite neat. So, for example, if I went hitchhiking, if I was able to go hitchhiking, then I would be happy and joyful, because I wanted it. There's that polarity of want and not getting. Um, Getting what I want and not getting what I want. One obviously supports the other. There's no variable within it of taking into account life. Um, so looking at I'm looking at life and seeing if there's a variable within life. I mean, is life just life and death right now, or is there variables within it? Variables to take into account all possible life and all possible death and all possibilities? Currently, no. Currently, we're just accepting life and death as just life and death. Um, all possibilities would be to mean that anything is possible. And just we accept it the way it is within a polarity of it is or it isn't. I mean, there's no possibilities within it. So this entire world is a system currently with no variables. I mean, it either is or it isn't. But we only know what is, and we can only imagine what isn't. I think I've confused myself a bit. Um, I'm not sure exactly where I'm going with the whole life and death part. But one conclusion that I know is that currently life and death is a polarity, and in the middle is a constant form of death. I mean, there's no constant form of life. There's no prospering in this world. There's a lot of um, caging and a lot of control. There's no expansion of self. So yes, look at things in your life and see if you accept variables. Because me, I mean, I just accepted myself as being a diabetic. I didn't look at a variable of a possibility of the fact that I, as my pancreas, can move and regenerate my pancreas as me to regenerate itself as me, regenerate myself. And it's definitely a possibility. Just need to find out how. And it's self-investigation. Thank you.